Hey guys, it's Jay Black, your Monterey Realtor, and today I am hanging out with Jay of the Mattox Group. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, good. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me and talk to us a little bit about your business here.
Thanks for welcoming us. We're really excited to be chatting with you.
Yeah, good deal. So the group has existed since 2008, right? That's when you
Correct.
guys started. So you guys have been around for a while. You started in a recession. So
Yeah, so January 2008, I started the company. And September of 2008, my wife and I, business was booming. We bought our first house in Marina. And 2 weeks later, the banks collapsed. And
don't panic.
don't panic. A month after that, our largest client at that point, who was heavily involved in the tech sector, went under. And 2009 and 2010 were some rough, lean years.
Yeah.
But we made it. We survived.
So why did you decide to start the Mattox Group?
So the Mattox Group was originally called Death and Taxes.
Okay. Okay, good deal.
So I started my own company. I had been in the Army. I was injured in the line of duty. And so the Army medically retired me. And then I had met my wife at that point. And so we settled here, which is where she was from. And the Army and the Department of Veterans Affairs, in their great generosity, decided to get me a degree. And so they put me through an accounting degree. Then they said, okay, now what do you want to do with that? Do you want to be a CPA? And I said, well, now I'm going to need a master's degree, and that's more schooling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to have to sit through all those exams. And then I'm going to have to work for one of the big four firms and do public auditing and public accounting, which I don't like. I'd rather look at another alternative. And my VA vocational counselor, Terry Theocarides, who's still with the VA and is still an amazing gentleman, he said, well, would you like to just start making money right away?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, I can get you an enrolled agent licensure, which is a tax license in all 50 states from the IRS. And with your background in accounting, focusing on small businesses, you can just open a shingle, start working right away, start helping people and build a company. And so that's what we did.
Okay.
But I'm new out here. No one knows me.
Sure.
Just a poor farm boy from Missouri. So I thought back to the first company I worked for, which was a local funeral home, Hudson Reimer Funeral Home in Edina, Missouri. And next door to the funeral home was Gigi Reimer Draper. Gigi was the owner's daughter, and she was a CPA. And so literally every day that I went to work during high school for 3 years, I went to Death and Taxes. So that is what I named the company to begin with.
Okay, good deal.
Once we got a little bigger and decided to get more involved in some government contract work and the like, we decided it was time to get more official. And the Mattox Group, Mattox is a family name, goes way back on my mother's side, and the Mattox Group was born. So I thought, well, I'll go into business for myself to help business owners who are in business for themselves find their way.
Sure.
And we started, and that has worked really well, and that has helped me build a company that today is accommodating. As I mentioned, one of our team members is ill at the moment and has the flexibility to work from home for as long as she needs to.
Sure.
And it was that kind of flexibility that led me to start the business.
Okay.
And that's what we do now with the people who work with us.
That's great. Yeah, that's great to be able to have and offer that kind of flexibility for sure. So now an EA, an enrolled agent, that is, you're qualified to do taxes, but you guys seem to offer a lot more than just tax services for the clients that you have.
We do. At our core, we're what we would call a small business advisor.
Okay.
So you and I shared earlier that we both have a little geek in us. To put that
just a little
to put that in perspective, every small business owner, as a realtor yourself, you understand this intrinsically. Every small business owner is on their own hero's journey.
Sure. Okay.
And as the traditional hero's journey arc goes, you're on this path, you come across obstacles that seem insurmountable, that you can't overcome. And along comes a trusted friend, Gandalf in this case,
okay,
to help you overcome those obstacles, find a better way, and achieve success. It's the oldest story in the world, and every small business owner has that path ahead of them. Those that are able to adapt and identify challenges, to have a team around them that work, are then able to overcome and thrive and succeed. Those that aren't, sadly 4 out of 5 small businesses in the first 5 years, are not. And so we started to be that trusted friend. to be the advisor. If you're going to do small business tax, you have to understand how a small business works.
Sure.
You need to know its numbers.
Yeah.
You need to know how to use the data to support the outcomes and goals that the business owner wants to achieve. And so we started with the mindset of looking at accounting and data and finding ways to translate that into goals, objectives, and useful information that can help people achieve their business growth and the transformation that they're looking for.
Okay.
We then look at that from a tax perspective as how can we best strategically operate the business to reduce your tax liability, to be prepared for your tax liability, to think about whatever the business owner or individual is trying to do, what are the ramifications going to be that they weren't paying attention to, and give them the information to make good decisions.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's their journey.
Yeah.
And we're a judgment-free zone. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to be curious and we need to ask good questions, but the judgment is the organization, the business owner's call. We need to give them the tools to make the best call that they can.
That's awesome. No, that's a great way to run a business, to help others. That's incredible. In this vein of being an advisor, right? What are a couple of things, like simple things, that business owners can do to prepare for tax season year round, rather than just waiting until, hey, it's April 15th. What are some things that they can do year round that are just kind of simple, easy things?
Well, first off is find someone to work with that has the heart of a teacher.
Okay.
The tax code is complex. Most of it doesn't apply to any one individual.
Okay.
But some of it does.
Sure.
And if you aren't aware of it, or if you aren't paying attention to it, it can really hurt.
Okay.
The way we work with tax clients is at the core, all of our tax engagements are for 1 year, and they're access to me and my team. We're not looking for people who are waiting till the end of the year and saying, oh, I had this this letter that came from the IRS, and I had it in a drawer for 9 months. Something shows up in the mail,
Bring it to you.
You get a phone call you don't understand. At the core, you have access to us. You have my cell phone. You have, email, carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. Get the question to us, and let's talk through it.
Okay.
So whoever you work with, whether it's us or anybody else, your tax advisor, your accountant advisors should be accessible to you. And use them. Pick up the phone. Don't worry about the cost. Pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what is on my mind. What do you think? Mm-hmm. The other thing is, anytime anything does show up in the mail, or there's anything related to the business that you have documentation for, have that in a place where you can easily get it. And if you're not meeting with your advisors on a monthly or quarterly basis, at least have it in one place so that when the year-end review comes, you can hand it all right to them, and everything is there.
Okay.
The biggest thing that hurts clients outside of not asking questions is not having their documentation.
Okay.
Clean documents, clean numbers, they just make the tax process simple.
Sure. Okay. No, that makes sense. Awesome. And another advice question then. It's September 21st, 22nd?
22nd.
22nd. Yeah. September 22nd in 2022. Recession is on everybody's mind, right? So we made a quick funny about don't panic earlier, but what is some advice that you would have for small businesses now going into this market shift, a potential recession that everybody's kind of concerned about?
Well, through the pandemic, there were those that were, they were thriving or they were surviving. Okay. And not everyone made it.
Sure.
An unprecedented period of time in our history. Mm-hmm. And so I would think that those who survived need to remind themselves, you made it. You got through the worst thing that we could ever have imagined would happen in our economy and in our lives in the last 100 years. Okay. That is on the heel of 10, 12 years ago, the worst recession since the Great Recession. Mm-hmm. If you're still in business now and you were in business in 2008, you've got this. And it's important to remind yourselves, you've got this, you've done it. Okay. For those who are newer to business or who haven't gone through the Great Recession or barely got through the pandemic and are looking at this thinking, boy, it's just another hit. there's a couple of things that can really help get you through this. First off, pile up cash.
Okay.
This is not the time to be, deciding to take on debt or to be spending things that you don't need. We get this a lot in tax season. Well, that's a deduction, right? I can just spend this because it's a deduction. There's a wonderful clip from that movie or that TV show Schitt's Creek that talks about this in probably the best way in popular culture. At the end of the day, a deduction reduces your taxable income. So you have to spend $1 to save the average small business owner in California 27 cents.
Okay.
You're still spending a whole dollar.
Yeah.
And that reduces your taxes by 27 cents. So we never encourage our clients to spend money on things they don't need or they won't move them forward. And certainly not at a time when there's a concern the recession might, potentially have a death blow to their business if they aren't prepared for it.
Sure.
So piling up cash and being smart about their spending, avoiding debt. I would further add, if you haven't really gotten into the heart of why you're in business, what your value to the customer is, to yourself and your team, now's the time to have that soul-searching moment.
Okay.
Because the business owners who completely understand why they're doing what they're doing, why it matters to themselves and their families, their team is completely on board and bought in 110% to what they're doing. Whatever happens in the national and global economy from here, your customers are still going to be loyal to you. Your team members are going to be loyal to you. You're still going to deliver exceptional products and services to the market, and you're going to make it.
So we've talked a lot about you doing business advising. Is there anything else that you do to help small businesses grow?
The place that we love to start with a small business owner, beyond getting to the heart of why they're in business, why are you selling? There's a new food truck in Marina that sells these amazing cheesesteaks. Why are you in the cheesesteaks business? Why
Always,
are you?
right?
Yeah. Why are you? Why are you doing? Why are you a general contractor? Whatever it is, getting to the core of why this particular career matters for you. We then start with a written plan. Intentionality is the heart of a successful business, and so what you write down, what you will into the world is what will happen. Our objective with advising small businesses at the start, wherever we start with them, wherever they are on their journey, is to make sure they have a written plan, a written budget, and then systems and processes in place to measure what matters, to guide the decision-making process, and help them achieve their goals.
What do you enjoy about being a member of the community on the peninsula?
Well, what don't you enjoy?
Yeah, that's a better question, right?
So it is a wonderful place to be. There's always something to do. And with that gorgeous ocean we have off the coast, our natural air conditioner, we have recreational opportunities galore. And within a 10, 15-minute drive, the weather has all these wonderful little microclimates, so you can have a bit of everything.
Yep. If you live in PG and you get sick of the fog, take a drive to Carmel Valley.
There you go.
It's not that hard to find sun. Anyway, Jay, thanks so much for joining me.
Jay.
I've really appreciated it. You're the second Jay I've actually done an interview with. So the other one was the owner of Elroy's. So there are a few of us around. But I've really enjoyed our time, and thanks for offering so much advice for anybody looking to get started. So thanks a lot. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Yeah.